Welcome to the Engineering Influence podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, coming from the 2024 Fall Conference. And this week we're going to be celebrating our scholarship winners. This year we have more than really ever before, and a good portion of that is due to the Institute, the ACEC Research Institute, which has done a great job in expanding the scholarship program. And I'm very pleased to be joined by one of those recipients, Ella Smith. She is a student at the Lawrence
Technological University.
Yes, in Michigan. Ella, what kind of sparked the idea, that engineering was something that was a field you wanted to go into?
I probably figured out that I wanted to go into engineering in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I think my grandparents and parents knew probably in elementary school that I was not going into public works more so, and I was going into something STEM related.
Yeah.
But it really came from my love of math and science.
Mm-hmm.
I very rarely was crying at the kitchen table doing homework with my dad. It was usually me having to prep for vocab tests and everything, and math was my favorite subject.
That was the reverse for me. My grandfather was an electrical engineer, and he used to help me with math, and it was excruciating because he would get it, and for some reason, it just skipped me, and it was the opposite of that. So, at an early age, math, science, that really just came naturally to you.
Yeah, it was that, and then I was able to do exchange to Germany one time.
Okay.
I was struggling in every other class, with their language classes and everything. I was like, wow, I'm just here half understanding what is being said. Mm-hmm. But then when I got to math class, I'm like, oh, this is so much fun. Yeah. Math's the same in every language.
Universal language,
I just
everybody
have to solve for the same thing that I knew how to. So it was definitely just love for math and science, and then that eliminated a lot of different fields and kind of narrowed me into engineering.
So what, engineering in itself, there's so many different variations of it. How did you kind of go through the process of figuring out, what your home in the field of engineering could be? Was there a certain, discipline that really attracted you more than anything else?
So my major is civil engineering. I am currently thinking about geotechnical.
Yeah.
And in that aspect, I grew up in the public sector of infrastructure and public engineering and municipal planning, just because my mom is a city planner. So seeing site plans and parcels and all of the AutoCAD stuff on her desk was a normal occurrence for me when I came back to her work after school. So finally realizing that civil engineering was a lot more than just talking to people and getting money and applying for grants. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. And I got to learn a lot more about my mom doing more than just hosting meetings as well.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe the geotech side of land development and kind of just all the stuff that goes into the pre-build of all the projects might be something that you go into. Yeah,
I definitely like the ever-changing environment. So you take the same soil borings, do similar tests, but no clay soil is the same.
Yeah.
No sand's the same. So I definitely like that aspect of it because I have found that some aspects become tedious, and I've at least seen in geotechnical that even if some parts are tedious, it's not 100% tedious, maybe 2% tedious.
Well, it's one of those things where it's you also get the ability to do the office work, but also be in the field a lot, right?
Yes. I definitely like the 50-50 split. Don't love being in the field when it's raining, downpour, sleet.
A lot of people don't think about that. You guys are out there in every element possible, right? It's not.
And I'm from Michigan, so we have the substantial snow.
Yeah. You were working on a project timeline, not on the seasons, right? So
with the past few winters, last winter they basically got to go ahead on so many projects because there was no snow, no frost, so they were just grinding the entire winter.
Yeah. It's really something because I mean I talked to a couple of members who were geotechs,
Okay.
and the work that they do, and I didn't realize how varied it was, right, and how technology is really doing a lot with just all the different LiDAR and radar and everything that goes into that. I mean, it must be exciting because I would imagine that you have a lot of opportunities to work with some really cool technologies that are being implemented in the field as well.
I truly think that the timing couldn't have been much more than perfect for when I entered secondary education for civil engineering, just because I'm learning the softwares almost as the same time as companies are.
Yeah.
And I'm still in school, so when they're like, oh, do you know AutoCAD? I'm like, yes, I do. And then GIS came in, and now even Truly Bentley. With senior projects that I'm in, we actually have a course now in Bentley. So I actually just got to start learning how to use it last Friday.
There you go. I mean, it's something because one of the things that we're talking about a lot here at ACEC is all the technology and all the work that's going to have to be done for firms to really get ahead of really all of these different things that are being brought out into the marketplace. And your generation is the one that's actually going to be about as acclimated to using these things as humanly possible right out of the gate upon graduation, right? So it's you have such a competitive advantage almost coming out of the gate because of all the stuff that's happening right now.
I definitely think, technical-wise, I think there's many benefits that my generation and those that I'm in school with have just with the technology we've been exposed to.
Yeah.
But I think some of the aspects, I can draw a box and get LiDAR information super easily, very quickly, but some of the aspects just take time to learn. So I can draft stuff quickly. I usually have to get second workups and say, like, this was slightly off, the format wasn't correct, those little things.
Yes.
So some of it definitely just comes with time.
Absolutely.
But the skills that I've learned have been nothing short of helpful.
Yes. Well, how many years do you have left in the degree?
I graduate May of 2025, so
right around the corner.
Yeah, one full semester left, and then
what's the ideal job out of graduation?
I'm not 100% sure. I feel like I've almost let down people when they're like, so what are you planning on doing? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, it was actually registering and getting my badge for what's your bucket list? And I'm like, graduating. And he's like, are you sure there's nothing else? I'm like, that's the only thing currently on my brain.
That's the number one right now.
Like, once I graduate, then other doors open, I feel like. So I obviously want to get a job in a field that I like. And right now I'm thinking that's geotechnical, but it might change. Freshman and sophomore year, I was really into water resources and environmental. And it just changed as I got into other classes, and I had soil mechanics, and I'm like, wow, I love this. So I'm not for sure. It might change again for what I like even in school and once I graduate, once I get into the field. But I just really want to find a firm that I enjoy, that has a good workplace environment. That's one of the biggest
big focus.
things.
I mean, I think that's a big focus that we learned outside of COVID. I think that our industry kind of pivoted on a dime because we realized that you're not in the office all the time. You are doing field work. You are in the office, but that can be done remotely. It seems like the industry is more, forward-leaning in that work-life balance. And we're trying to push that and try to figure out exactly, what's going to be important to your generation coming into the workforce, which is different than the old guard that is like you're so used to the old school way of doing things.
Yeah, I think there's benefits of both working from home and working in the office. I love asking questions. I go up and ask many probably redundant questions, especially to my professors. But I guess that's something. Texting someone on Teams isn't the same as going over to their desk.
It's always nice to actually talking to someone, face to face.
Well, it brings up, you ask one question and then 10 others spark in your brain.
Exactly. Well, take this week and network because you got executives from firms from every discipline, And the way things are going, we need so many engineers now.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, just walk out of here, you might actually have a contact with a job offer. You never know. I would definitely talk to whoever you possibly can, especially people who are at the Geotechnical Coalition or the Land Development Coalition guys. They have, that's all they do. So make sure to make connections with them. But it's great that, I'm so glad you're here and you get to see this and you get to be around people who are of all stages in their, professional journey. So I hope you take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's hopefully the first of many ACEC conferences.
Yeah, well, we look forward to seeing you in the future, and as an active ACEC member, congratulations on the scholarship.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your soon to be graduation and entering into the workforce.
Thank you.
And again, that's been Ella Smith, ACEC Research Institute scholarship recipient, and this has been Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies. And we'll see you next time.